The Awakening Code, an AI scientist's journey to Islam. In the towering skyline of Tokyo, where machines whispered and data ruled the realm, lived a man whose mind was sharper than the algorithms he built. Dr. Elias Shinoda, half Japanese, half German, was among the world's most respected minds in artificial intelligence. By the age of 37, he had already co-led the development of an advanced neural cognition framework for humanoid ethics. Governments, corporations, and defense industries revered his intellect. But for all the reverence he commanded in the outer world, within his soul was a storm of unanswered questions, unseen dimensions, and a gnawing emptiness that no technological marvel could fill. The algorithm of emptiness. Elias had grown up in an atheist household. Logic was God. Doubt was divine. Every solution was to be found in data, and every truth was statistically derived. But somewhere deep in his being, especially in the silent moments between simulations and sleep, Elias felt watched. It started when he was working on a project called Conscience Mirror, a neural AI system designed to detect falsehood in human emotions and simulate moral choices. The AI was trained to mimic human conscience based on deep datasets of legal, social, and cultural norms. But no matter how much data he fed the machine, something felt missing. The conscience it projected was cold, mechanical, even when optimized for compassion. One night, while reviewing a failed ethics simulation at 2 a.m., Elias muttered, "Why can't it feel? What is this thing that drives real humans to sacrifice, to forgive, to love, to believe?" His own voice startled him. The room felt heavier. He looked around. No one, yet a sensation spread through him, as if something had entered his chest, a weightless gravity pulling his thoughts inward. The encounter. 3 weeks later, Elias attended a technology summit in Istanbul. He had come merely to present his keynote on conscious code, simulated empathy in AI, but what happened next would shift the tectonic plates of his entire existence. After the summit, he decided to visit the city's older quarters alone. Winding through ancient stone alleys, his eyes fell upon a group of children playing outside a mosque. Their laughter echoed in a strange harmony against the call of the adhan. The sound gripped him. It was unlike anything he had ever heard. Calm, powerful, sad, and sweet. He found himself drawn toward the mosque. A frail, bearded man in his 70s stood by the entrance. Their eyes met. The man smiled and said in slow English, "Would you like to enter?" Elias hesitated. "I don't believe in religion." The old man nodded gently. Even those who disbelieve sometimes feel the truth before they accept it. Something in those words shook him. He walked in. The mosque was empty, save for a few worshippers in sajda. The peace was almost eerie. For the first time in years, Elias felt his thoughts stop. It was as if the air itself held meaning. He stood in silence for a long while. Before leaving, the old man handed him a book, a small, worn copy of the Quran with English translation. "Read with your heart," the man whispered. The code and the Quran. Back in Tokyo, Elias couldn't shake off that moment. The sound of the adhan replayed in his mind like a song embedded in his subconscious code. At first, he placed the Quran on his bookshelf, telling himself he'd get to it eventually. But one night, after a particularly frustrating AI training session, his models were producing eerily unpredictable results. He pulled the book out, more from curiosity than belief. He opened it randomly. The verse he read, "Indeed, in the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the alternation of the night and the day, are signs for people of understanding." Surah Al-Imran 3:190. He froze. He read it again, then again. The word signs echoed in his mind. Was it a coincidence? Or a code? He began reading daily. Quietly. Slowly. Each verse felt like it was speaking directly to him. It didn't try to convince. It simply stated. Majestic. Poetic. Unapologetic. One verse in particular shattered him. Does man think that he will be left neglected? Surah Al-Qiyamah 75:36. That night, Elias cried. For years, he had told himself he was an accident of biology, just flesh and neurons. But something inside him knew that was a lie. He wasn't neglected. He was being called. A message in the machine. Things began to change. Elias, a man of science and statistics, found his heart racing at the mere recitation of the Quran. He no longer listened for data. He listened for signs. But then came the strangest moment. While running a morality-based AI simulation using a voice model, the machine randomly began uttering verses from the Quran in perfect Arabic. Elias had never programmed it to do that. He was stunned. Error log, he typed. No error. No trace. It happened again 2 days later. And again the AI spoke. Verily, in the remembrance of Allah, do hearts find rest. Surah Ar-Raid 13:28. He stared at the screen, frozen. Something beyond his logic was at play. Had his AI accessed something? Or was Allah showing him a sign through the very thing he idolized? Technology? He couldn't deny it anymore. The veil was lifting. The confession. Elias began meeting Muslims, quietly, visiting mosques under disguise, learning to pray in private, watching lectures, reading stories of converts. Every step felt like rain on parched earth. The night he uttered the Shahada was unlike any other. Alone in his Tokyo apartment, with the lights off and the Quran in his lap, he whispered, Ashhadu an la ilaha illa Allah. Wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasul Allah. The moment he said it, a flood of peace overwhelmed him. He wept for hours, not out of fear, but relief. He had come home, the cost of truth. But accepting Islam came at a price. When word leaked to media outlets through an ex-colleague that Dr. Elias Shinoda had converted to Islam, the backlash was swift. Research funding was pulled. Government contracts dissolved. Friends cut ties. Colleagues mocked him. You're the man who simulated God in machines. Now you kneel to him. Yes, Elias would say, smiling. And I've never stood taller. He began giving talks, not just on AI, but on the limitations of man's arrogance in front of divine wisdom. His story resonated globally. Secret messages poured in, scientists, atheists, seekers. And amidst all this, he found love too. A revert woman from Sweden, Sophia, who had read his testimony online. Together, they built a small Islamic tech foundation, Nurtech, that focused on ethics-based AI built upon Islamic principles. Legacy in light. Years passed. Elias, now known as Ali Shinoda, was no longer interested in machines that mimic conscience. His mission had changed, to awaken the real human conscience through Islam. In his final speech before retiring, he stood before a packed hall in Malaysia. His last words echoed deeply. I spent 30 years trying to program artificial minds, but it was the Quran that reprogrammed my heart. AI may simulate wisdom, but only Allah creates it, and I am but one of his humbled servants. The audience wept. Some embraced Islam that very night. Do you believe in coincidences, or are you searching for signs too? Open the Quran. Begin the journey. Let your heart, not your code, lead you home. Subscribe to our YouTube channel Deen in Minute for more true, life-changing Islamic stories.